Happy Friday, Infiniteers! It's time for our next episode of Toy Box Tutorials. Today, we're going to start filling in the rest of the factory toy box that I built last time. Each new tutorial will cover a toy from Toy Box Takeover, Marvel Battlegrounds, or some other 3.0 playsets that we don't have tutorials for. And we will use these toys in some practical ways to create an obstacle course and puzzles for our factory. And for our first episode in this new toy box, I want to talk about the Death Star Walkways. This is a set of 4 building pieces that are unlocked in Toy Box Takeover. In the Imperial base level, when you press a button to drop stormtroopers off a bridge. And after you unlock this set of toys, you find them in the editor in Building Sets Group 5 with the rest of the Death Star pieces. Now, you can just place these directly into your toy box and use them as I'm doing here, and just kind of build a ramp. And create a way for the player to get up to that ledge up there. And that's fine. But what you may not know is that all of these pieces have a logic menu. So if we select them, you'll see in the menu in the lower right corner, the logic menu is available. And if we open that, you can attach this piece to a path. And that is true for each of the different pieces. Every one of these can be attached to a path, which means you can make them rise up out of the ground or move back and forth over a large canyon or whatever you want. There's one more piece. I've used those 3. The other piece that I haven't used is the Death Star Walkway moving bridge. And this has some additional logic. And I'm going to place 2 of these down. Like this. Okay. And let's drop a couple of buttons down so we can play with these. So up under Creative Toys, these will not be the controls that I end up using, but they'll work for today. Alright, so if we select this one, for example, and do New Logic Connection when pressed, and we come over and select the bridge, this piece has 2 behaviors. There's open and close. And the terminology is a little confusing because I tend to think of open as opening the gap, but I think they intended it to mean opening the way forward. So we'll have this button do the open. We'll have this one do the close. And I'll hook that up to both bridges in a moment. So we push the button. You can see it extends the bridge. And if we press this one to close it, it retracts the bridge. And if your character has a super jump ability, like Mickey does, you can jump the gap with a single bridge. So that's why it's a good idea to put 2 bridges together like this to create a much larger gap for the player to have to cross. And let's go ahead and close that bridge here. Alright, so with the 2 bridges, it's almost impossible to super jump that. I think there might be 1 or 2 figures that can do it, but if we connect this up then to both bridges, and we'll go ahead and connect this one up to close both bridges, that makes it a lot easier for the player to cross that gap. And you'll see this is how these 2 bridges are used in Toy Box Takeover. So now we open, and that creates a full walkway that we can use to get across the chasm. And that's good. And if you wanted to make it even more of a gap, you could attach this piece to a path as well and have this slide out from this block to this point and then extend the bridge. So you can make that super wide so absolutely no character can get across that. And I think that would be good. Oops, there are also some trigger signals that this will broadcast. So if you look under New Logic Connection, there's opened and closed. And so when the bridge is put in the open state, this will broadcast this trigger signal. So if you wanted to play a sound effect or something, you could do that. And likewise, when the bridge is closed, it'll broadcast that one. You'll notice there are no properties, so there's nothing else that you can do with that bridge. But that's it for the Death Star Walkways. Kind of a short tutorial today, but I wanted to cover these because it wasn't obvious that these pieces have a logic menu. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit the like button and leave a comment to let me know. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next tutorial. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.